Buckle up, Chiefs Kingdom, because what I'm about to reveal is going to rattle you harder than a full-throttle linebacker blitz. Just when everyone thought they had the script figured out, boom, the Kansas City Chiefs ripped it to shreds and unleashed a move that's left the entire league bewildered. If you think you know what's coming next, think again. Stick around and watch this video until the final second. Smash that like button and drop a W in the comments if you're still riding with the Chiefs, or an L if you've lost faith. And don't you dare forget to slam that subscribe button. You won't want to miss a single twist or jaw-dropping turn this season. Now, let's dive straight into it, because this move right here is a true separator of the believers from the doubters. Over the weekend, the Kansas City Chiefs didn't just tiptoe into the 2025 NFL Draft, they plunged headfirst, emerging with 7 brand new weapons. And let me make one thing crystal clear, they didn't just toss darts at a board. They marched in with a battle-hardened blueprint, fortified both sides of the trenches, bolstered the secondary, grabbed a new wide receiver to supercharge the offense, and even secured an extra running back to weaponize the backfield. They're fortifying the front lines like a squad preparing for all-out war building from the inside out, where real battles are fought and won. But here's where it gets spicy, and you better listen close. Not a single tight end was touched. Not a draft pick, not a flyer, nothing. I know what you're thinking, with Travis Kelce aging and those godlike skills finally showing a few human cracks, surely tight end was a top priority? Wrong. Brett Veach and the Chiefs front office said, we're good. They zigged when everyone expected them to zag, and believe me, that was no accident. Now, they didn't leave the cupboard completely empty. After the draft frenzy cooled, they swooped in and snagged Jake Briningstool from Clemson as an undrafted gem. And don't get it twisted, this isn't some practice squad filler. Briningstool was projected by most analysts to be a 5th or 6th round pick. Grabbing him for nothing? That's called grand larceny. Classic Brett Veach pulling another rabbit out of the hat, turning scraps into treasure. But let's keep it real, Briningstool isn't being groomed to inherit Kelce's crown just yet. He's a depth piece, a wild card, not the next king on the throne. So what does all this mean for Chiefs Kingdom? 2 massive truths are staring us right in the face. First, just maybe the Chiefs genuinely believe Noah Gray is ready to ascend. And if you've been paying attention, Gray wasn't just riding the bench last season, he was out there making waves. 5 touchdowns, 2 more than Kelce, 437 yards on 40 catches, a dazzling 81% catch rate, 40 receptions on 49 targets. That's not noise, that's clutch. That's the type of reliability Patrick Mahomes dreams of, not maybe guys, but surefire weapons. But wait, it gets deeper. The Chiefs didn't ignore the tight end spot. They scanned the board and the value simply wasn't there. No reaching, no panic picks, discipline, mastery, vision. While others play checkers, Veach and Reid are playing 5D chess. They reinforced the trenches, fortified the secondary, and said with conviction, we're rolling with our squad at tight end. And don't forget about Wiley. Drafted just last year, now healthy, hungry, and ready to leave his mark. Word out of the building? Wiley's been grinding, sharpening his skills, preparing for that breakthrough moment when the lights shine the brightest. In the NFL, it's not about who's ready today, it's about who's preparing to seize tomorrow. Wiley could very well be another hidden ace tucked away and ready to ignite when the Chiefs need it most. Chiefs Kingdom, hear me loud and clear. This isn't just about the 2025 season, this is about the Dynasty's future, 2026, 2027, and beyond. Every pick, every undrafted steal, every strategic non-move, it's all part of a master plan. Brett Veach and Andy Reid aren't playing to survive, they're building a lasting empire. They know you can't just wave a magic wand and replace a living legend like Travis Kelce. But you can layer your foundation, nurture depth, and trust your process so when destiny calls, you're already ready. Noah Gray, Jake Briningstool, Wiley. These aren't just names. They are the future pieces of greatness, and some will rise, some may fall, but the Chiefs dynasty rolls on. Make no mistake, the blueprint is crystal clear. The Kansas City Chiefs are strategically preparing for life after Travis Kelce, and they're doing it without panic, without desperation. Let me drop some truth on you, and you'd better listen closely. Championship dynasties aren't crafted in the glamorous early rounds. They're forged deep in the trenches in those 3rd, 4th, and 5th round picks and those undrafted gems that turn into superstars. Study history. Every dynasty you admire didn't just ace the 1st round. They found warriors late. They unearthed hungry dogs, driven by the fire to prove the world wrong. That's exactly what this Chiefs front office is executing, and believe me, the rest of the league sees it too. They're watching the Chiefs construct their next juggernaut and quietly praying for a stumble. Spoiler alert, it's not happening. They're too smart, too disciplined, too locked in. So for everyone out there panicking about who's going to replace Kelce, trust the process, trust the vision. Because if there's one irrefutable truth we've learned over the past 5 years, it's this: the Chiefs don't rebuild. They reload. And right now, they're arming up like they're gearing for war. And trust me, we're just heating up. When you dissect what the Kansas City Chiefs are orchestrating right now, it's nothing short of a masterclass in sustainable domination. They didn't flinch. They didn't react emotionally. They remained ice-cold, methodical, ruthless, exactly how a true powerhouse operates. They attacked the 2025 NFL Draft with surgical precision, and let me be very clear, their strategy didn't involve reaching for a tight end just because Travis Kelce's golden era is closer to the finish line than the starting blocks. No, they're thinking long-term legacy. They're thinking dynasty continuation. You don't replace a Travis Kelce, you evolve beyond him. You craft a new, even deadlier version of your offense, one that's more balanced, less predictable, and infinitely more sustainable. And believe me, that's exactly what's cooking inside that Kansas City war room. Now, let's spotlight Noah Gray for a moment. This young man isn't sitting back, he's kicking down the door like he owns the building. 5 touchdowns last season, more than Kelce himself. But it's not just the stats, it's how he's producing clutch catches under pressure. Crisp, surgical route running, blocking assignments handled with raw, grown man strength. That's not a flash in the pan, that's the DNA of someone who lasts. Gray's catch rate, over 80%. Let me say that louder: elite. That's the kind of stone-cold reliability Patrick Mahomes demands when the game, the season, the dream is on the line. Noah Gray hasn't just been waiting, he's been marinating inside the Chiefs culture, absorbing every ounce of wisdom Kelce had to offer, and now he's ready to announce himself to the entire league. I'm not just a guy. I'm that guy. But don't sleep on Wiley either. While some casuals wrote him off after his injury, those who know adversity either crushes you or forges you. And Wiley, he's been building himself like a skyscraper. Every report out of camp screams the same thing: bigger, stronger, faster, hungrier. Wiley's carrying a chip on his shoulder the size of Arrowhead Stadium, and he's coming full force for his breakout year. Imagine it: 2 tight end set, Gray and Wiley, both capable of blocking, catching, and terrorizing defenses across the field. That's a defensive coordinator's worst nightmare. That's not checkers. That's high-level chess. And don't overlook Jake Briningstool either. Look, I'm not crowning him the next Kelce, but hear me out. The Chiefs got a serious steal. Briningstool's tape at Clemson? Slippery. Smart. Gritty. He's raw, sure, but the ingredients are there. Give him a year or 2 inside this system with this coaching staff, and he could become another devastating weapon in Mahomes' already ridiculous arsenal. And let's not forget, Kelce wasn't an overnight sensation either. It took patience. It took cultivation. And no one is better at transforming raw talent into polished greatness than Kansas City. Now, to the skeptics shouting from the cheap seats, why didn't the Chiefs draft a tight end early? What are they thinking? Let me say it straight: calm down and trust the architects. You think Brett Veach and Andy Reid are just winging it? You think Patrick Mahomes doesn't have input behind those closed doors? Come on. This organization has repeatedly proven they know exactly what they're doing. You don't build a dynasty by luck. You build it with vision, patience, courage, and relentless execution. And that, my friends, is exactly what's unfolding before your eyes. The truth is simple. The Chiefs didn't just need to think about replacing Kelce, they had to reinforce the entire foundation. You can have the greatest tight end in the world, but if your offensive line looks like Swiss cheese, it's worthless. You can design the most brilliant scheme imaginable, but if your defense can't get stops when it matters, you're already dead in the water. Kansas City understood this, and they attacked it. In this draft, they fortified their trenches. They got nastier up front, grittier in the secondary, and added playmakers exactly where they needed them most. That's the real blueprint for a dynasty. Keep the core strong. Protect Mahomes at all costs. Build a defense that seizes opportunities. Add weapons strategically. Let's be clear, Travis Kelce's a once-in-a-generation unicorn. A guaranteed first-ballot Hall of Famer. And yes, when he eventually hangs it up, it's going to sting. No doubt about that. But listen, the Chiefs aren't trying to clone Kelce's. They're doing something even smarter. They're evolving past him. They're designing an offense that's harder to predict, harder to defend, and more versatile than ever before. Noah Gray isn't Kelce. Wiley isn't Kelce. Jake Briningstool isn't Kelce. And that's the whole point. They bring different styles, different weapons, different threats, forcing defenses to pick their poison every single week. You can't just draw up one stop the tight end game plan anymore. You'll have to game plan for everything. Every route, every matchup, every nightmare scenario. Now let's get real. Travis Kelce's contract is up after this season. This could very well be his last ride in a Chiefs uniform. And believe me, that locker room knows it. That coaching staff knows it. Patrick Mahomes knows it. There's an extra edge this year. An extra layer of urgency. A mission, not just another season, but a mission to send the greatest tight end of all time out with another ring. Another parade. Another permanent mark in the book of football immortality. Chiefs Kingdom. It's time to rise up. Stand tall. Stay proud. Don't let the haters cloud your mind. Don't let the doubters creep into your heart. This franchise is in the best hands possible. Mahomes, the best quarterback alive. Andy Reid, the sharpest offensive genius of this era. Brett Veach playing three-dimensional chess while the rest of the league is fumbling checkers. And the young guns, Gray, Wiley, Briningstool, are hungry, fired up, and ready to explode. This offseason isn't about panic, it's about preparation. It's about evolution. It's about building a machine, a juggernaut that will steamroll through the NFL for the next decade with or without Kelce. And if you can't see that, maybe you never truly understood what made the Chiefs great to begin with. Because it was never just about one player. It was about a culture, a commitment to greatness, a relentless drive to be better today than you were yesterday every single day. So here's what I need you to do. Drop a comment right now. W, if you believe this dynasty is only getting stronger. L, if you've somehow lost faith, but I know 99% of why all are riding with me. Smash that like button like Chris Jones smashing through a double team, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a single moment of the greatness that's coming. Because trust me, this season will be one for the history books. And you don't want to be the one hearing about it secondhand. You want to be right here front row, feeling every hit, every touchdown, every history-making moment as it unfolds. See you next video.